these bands work. Hopefully everyone got a chance to play around with them a little bit. If you do have a question, instead of just saying it out loud, if you could write it into the chat box down low where it says chat, and then Monica will help answer that question. And then I'll also answer any questions at the end of the program. So today we're going to do most of a full body workout. We're going to do a lot from the seated position. Then we're going to move to our anchor point. So hopefully you had an anchor point set up. I can also help you with setting up an anchor point if you're new and don't quite understand how to do it. So to begin with, we usually do a little quick stretch warm up before we get going with the bands. So we'll start at the top. We'll get our head loose. So let's do some head rotations, some revolutions. Just pick one direction, go nice and slow. We do about 10 of these to start off each way. And reverse it. Now let's get our shoulders going here. We'll just do some slow forward shoulder rolls. And reverse it. All right, let's bring our arm across our chest. Hold it with the other arm, drop your shoulder down. Don't keep it up, drop it down. And hold it right here for about 10 seconds. And let's switch other arm. Now we'll give our core a nice stretch in our back. I want you to stick your arms out front together like you're diving into a pool. And we're just going to open up one side. You pick which one and follow your head with the arm as far back as you can. And hold it. Hold at the very end. Let's bring that hand back to the middle. And now we're going to open up the other side. Follow along with your eyes and your head. And bring your hand back to the middle. Now we're going to give that lower back a nice little warm up and stretch. I just want you to bring your chest down to your knees or as far as you can go. If you could only go halfway, that's fine. But just go as far as you can. Activate those abs and then sit back up. We're just going to do about 5 of these nice and slow. Almost like a seated crunch. Let's do one more. All right, and then we'll move down to our lower body. Just want you to get those hip flexors, legs a little warm up. Raise the knee. I'm using my right knee, raising it up and back down. If you need assistance, use your arms to bring it up. If you have little power or no functioning in the lower body, you could just use your hands, just pick it up as high as you can and set it back down. We just want to do about 5 of these with each leg nice and easy. And after this, we're going to get going with the bands. So I'm going to start with my second strongest resistance band, which is the blue one in my set. Since we all have different colors, you guys can stop with the legs now. Since everyone might have different packages that we've mailed out, just look for the second thickest one if you want to follow along with me, or else just start really slow and use the lightest one. It's up to you. We're all going to be different on what we do and what resistance we choose. But we're going to start off with doing some shoulders and back work. The first exercise, if you're seated, I'm gonna slide my resistance band just underneath my stool. So if you have a chair that opens up, you can do this and use it as an anchor. Now you have an anchor point. If you don't have a chair that opens up on the bottom, you could just sit on top of the band right in the middle, just like this. Because we want to be in this position right here. So if you want to get yourself ready, whatever you prefer. You can also do this in a standing fashion, but if you want to stand and do it, you're going to have one foot on one end, and you're going to have to do one arm at a time going up. So I recommend just staying seated. Honestly, if you have a backrest, that's even better, because then you keep your back from helping too much, and then you're going to be in a good form with your back straight. So we're going to start with some just shoulder presses, nice and light. We're going to do 12 of these together. So I have my bands right here. I'm sticking my thumb through the back, because if you do it this way, you're going to rub against your arms. And you want to avoid as much rubbing with these bands as possible. So I'm grabbing it right here. And then you can go straight up without any interference. So we're going to do 12 of these together. We're going to do 2 sets of every exercise. And begin. We're just going straight up with a shoulder press. Lock out those elbows and back down. You can also do this on the ground on your knees. If you place your knees on the band, if you don't have a chair by you, and it should do the exact same thing is what I'm doing here. 4 more. And last one. So we're just going to take a quick break, and we're going to do that one more time. And what I mentioned with the knees, this is what it would look like. I'm on my knees, and now straight up. So this actually works really good. It's really good resistance. It's perfect actually with where the handles are. So it's another option if you don't want to use the chair. All right, about 5 more seconds of rest, and we're going to do set number 2. And here we go. 12 more. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. And rest. All right. Our next move is going to work on our back. They're called bent over rows. So you can do this in a seated position, and you could do the standing. I'm going to show you the seated position first. We're going to use our feet as an anchor. So whenever I say we're using our feet as an anchor, this is what it means. You're going to be standing on the middle of the band. And whether you use 2 feet or 1 foot, it's still anchored down to the ground. I just prefer 2 feet. It's more comfortable. It's centered. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab it just above my ankle, lower shin area. And from here, we're just going to pull back, do a row. My chest is forward, so I'm going to show you what my upper body's doing. I'm in this position, and I'm pulling back right here. I'm not using the handles because there's too much slack. It's not going to do much here. So you want to grab it down by the ankles, and we're just rowing, bringing our hands and elbows back. Our chest is staying down. If you want to do the standing up, it's going to look the same. Feet as an anchor. You're going to grab probably mid shin and you're going to do the row. This is from the side what it looks like. And so there you have it. Choose which one you'd like to do, whatever works for you. I'm just going to demonstrate from the seated position. And I'm using that same band I used for the last exercise. All right, and here we go. We're going to do 12 of these together and begin. 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Quick rest, and we're going to do set number 2 the same way. If you're wondering why I chose 12, I didn't just throw a number out there. Since this is called at-home tone, we're going to work on toning the body, and you want to do higher repetitions in order to achieve that. If we want to do some really big strength training, we'd probably be doing 6 to 8 repetitions if you want size and bulk. But since that's not the goal of this program, the more repetitions, the better. So you always see me saying either 12 or 15 most of the time. All right, set number 2, same thing. Chest down, and let's begin. 1, 2. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Once again, we're going to be using our feet for an anchor point for this next move, but I'm definitely switching my band because this is going to be too heavy for what I want to do. I recommend you use the lightest band, which is probably the yellow one, or the one right above the yellow one. I'm just going to use the yellow one because this is a shoulder exercise and I like to go light when I do these kinds of movements. So I have my handles on the yellow. We're going to use our feet as an anchor point again. And all we're doing from here, I'm going to have my arms out to the side. We're just going to bring it up to shoulder height and back down. Not even all the way down, because you always want to keep a little bit of tension here. So this is what the move is going to look like. It's a lateral raise. This will actually work better standing up if you're able to do it standing up, because you're going to get a little bit more range of motion. You're going to get resistance all the way down to here. Whereas when you're sitting, we had to stop about here. So this is what it looks like standing up. You can also do one foot. It really doesn't matter. You're still working the same muscles. So let's try this one. We're going to do 2 sets of these. They're called lateral raises. And let's begin. We're going to do 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 10. And that's 12. All right, quick rest. Quick rest, we're going to do one more. All right, and set number 2. Let's begin. 1, 2. 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Next move is going to also work our shoulders or the rear delts and our back, traps a little bit. We can do this in a seated position with our legs extended out. So they're still anchored, but it looks like this. My knees are locked. And we're going to bend over just slightly. And we're going to go straight back with the light band. Instead of going up, we're going back with it. We can also do the standing up. So standing up, you're just going to bend over a little bit. And we're going to go right backwards. So like this, we'd be going up for shoulders. This way, we're working the back more and the traps. So choose your liking, seated or standing. And we're going to do 2 sets of these together. Also, if you cannot straighten out your legs, what you may need to do is just grab that band a little bit lower because you want the resistance. And in this position, there's too much play here. It's not going to be that effective. So just a helpful hint. All right, here we go. And let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. All right. Got a 10-second breather. And we're going to do set number 2. All right, here we go. Last set, and then we're going to move on to our anchors. So get ready for that switch. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So if you have to move yourself to your anchor, please do that. We can also take any quick questions if you're really having trouble setting up an anchor. But I'm going to move. I'll show you how I have my anchor set up for those that are new. And I have it right on this pole because I don't have a good door here with a good camera view for the computer. So if you need to do a makeshift anchor, I just used a gate belt, just a heavy duty gate belt. And that is my anchor point on that pillar. So we're going to do a few arm exercises here. And then also, let's see what I got, a few shoulders as well. And then later we'll break up and Monica will do more arm exercises, and I'm going to do some core and legs with my group. So depending on what you want to do. All right. Well, I'm going to put the blue band back on because I think the yellow one's going to be a little bit too light for what we're going to be doing. You can always switch if it's too easy, too hard. Oops, that's the wrong one. All right, so what we do here, just going to slip one handle through the anchor. And I'm going to start off facing the anchor. I'm about 3 feet away, maybe 4 feet away. And I have pretty good resistance right here already. You know, I could definitely feel it, but I'm going to scoot myself back just a tad more. And all we're going to do here, these are called tricep kickbacks. We're going to be working this muscle here. From this position with 90-degree bend and elbow, we're just going to straighten our arms down at the elbow, lock them out, and bring them back up. So it's just a 45-degree movement, or 90-degree movement, sorry. And you should isolate those triceps. Try keeping your elbow still up against your body. That way it's not flaring out back like this, because we just want to work those triceps here. And from the front, it just looks like this. So let's try 12 of these together and begin. 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Feel free to make any adjustments you need. You don't always have to switch up the band. If it was too easy for you, just scoot yourself back and give it more tension. If it was too difficult, just scoot up a little bit. You don't always have to rotate the bands out if it's just a minor difference that you're seeking. And set number 2. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So that was our tricep workout on the anchor. Next, we're going to do some biceps, the opposite. So here, I'm going to stay probably the same distance I was just sitting. And all we're doing here is the opposite motion. So we're going to go up. We're just doing curls. My hands are like this, very close together. Upper body is still. It's going to work better on yours if you have it underneath the door, because you really want the anchor down as far to the ground as you can for this movement. Mine is still pretty effective, but not as good as yours, I'm sure. So we're just going to do curls just like that. We're going to do 12 together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 more. All right, and right away, let's flip our hands down. So palms down, same thing, reverse curls. So now we're working the forearms a little bit more. Elbow stays still. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now flip the hands back, palms up, and back to our original curls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. And flip the palms down. Last one, reverse curl. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. And our last exercise before we break into groups, we're just going to do a regular row sitting up straight, neutral grip. So holding like this, palms facing in, just like that. And all we're gonna do is row as deep as you can. Get those elbows way past your back if you can. And all the way forward, extended. We're just gonna do these rows just like this. Hands all the way up front and then finishing right next to your body. So we're gonna do 12 of these and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then right away, flip the palms up, facing up, and same thing, rows. So that little change actually does make a difference on what muscles are being worked. The biceps are involved a lot more here now. That's 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now flip your palms down. Same thing, but pull higher this time towards your shoulders. Now the back is working a lot more and less biceps. So we're gonna do 12 of these and then we're gonna finish it off here. 3, 4. Halfway there. It's 10, 2 more. All right. And that's gonna do it for this portion of the workout. So now we're gonna break into groups for those that are new. We have the choice of either you can stay with me and work on legs or exercises that require you to move to the ground. So if you're not comfortable or cannot do that, you should probably join Monica for more of what we just did with the arms here. Or if you just want to work more arms rather than legs, join her room. And if you want to stay with me, just stay right where you are. So Monica, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, just raise your hand if you'd like to join me. We got Paul, Amanda, Michelle, Vicky, Gina. I know Jeremiah. All right, let me work on this and I will invite you to my breakout room in a second.
And if you're staying with me, get your foot cuff ready. And also maybe like a medium resistance band.
All right, you should see an invite from me and join that, please.
All right. So I'm using the red band, but I think it's not going to be the red band for you all. It might be the green one. It's right in the middle for me. So what I like to do, we're going to do one leg at a time. And I'm only going to use one foot cuff. So I'm going to attach both of the buckles to one foot cuff. And then I'm going to start off with my right leg. So I'm going to hook it up to my right leg. We're going to do just some leg swings, some straight leg swings, forward and reverse. They hit all the major groups. It's just going to be a very light warm up because I do want to show you a few ab exercises that you may enjoy using these bands. So this is what it looks like right here. I have one foot connected to the band. The other one's just planted on the ground. And from here, all I want to do, I want to take one step forward with my leg that's not attached. And then we're just going to swing the leg back and forth. And you want to, it's easier if you're holding on to something. Sometimes balance can be an issue. So feel free to use an object. But we're just going to do these straight leg swings right now. We're going to work the hamstring or the quad, I should say, or hip flexor here. take your time. If you run out of time, feel free to do these on your own after we're done. Or like I said, we will send out the video that you can do at a later time too. So I do encourage that you do multiple sets of these throughout the week. So once you've done 12 of these, I know people are still setting up. No rush. But if you finished with your 12, all we're gonna do is turn around, face the other way. And now we're gonna do backward swings. So now we're working the hamstring a lot more. We're still working the hip, but now our calf and our hamstring is getting activated a little bit more. And once you're done with the 12, we're just going to switch our cuff to the other leg. But feel free if you just want to work one leg, if that's your goal. If you need to strengthen it, just stick with one leg. Again, it's up to you how you want to tailor this workout. But I am going to move over to my left leg now and do the same thing. Remember, the goal here is to keep the leg straight. We'll do some more moves in upcoming weeks where we're bending the knee and doing some more kick type moves to really focus on the quad. But for today, we're just doing straight leg swings. About 5 more here. If you've already done your 12, feel free to rotate to back leg swings. All right, that's 12 for me. So I'm going to spin myself around. And now I'm going backwards. These are good exercises if you have any issues with your gait. If that's something that you need to improve or work on. This is a great start. 4 more for me here. 1 and last one. All right. So those are some easy ones, back and forward swing. You could also do side swing. So crossover side swing. And you could do the other way, adduction and abduction. So try those on your own time. We'll probably touch on those a little bit more next week, but I wanted to do a neat ab workout. Since we did some rows earlier, working on our back. This move incorporates those movements and also a chance for us to work on our core. I'm sure many of you have heard of planks. So what we're going to be doing, this can be challenging, but there's a few variations. I'm going to move the computer here so you can see what I'm doing. But basically, we're doing a side plank, just like this. But we're also adding the dimension of the pull here. So our core is really engaged now. And the fact that we're moving the weight and resistance around, it's activated even more. So why don't you give that a shot? If it's too difficult for you to be in this position, you can drop your other foot down for more support, or you could also just stay on your knee, just like this. And you're still going to be working those obliques. You're still working that core. If you want the full effect, once again, it's feet stacked on top of each other. In this position, don't let your hips sag down. You want a straight line across, and you want to be facing your anchor. And from here, you're just doing a pull. Let's, after about 10 of these, take a break and then we'll switch to the other side. So I would throw a few core exercises in today. I think we're only going to get to this one because we're running out of time. Then once you did one side, try the other side. I think this is really effective. It's one of my favorite. I just recently discovered this, messing around, and it really works a lot of muscles at the same time. Get a pretty good sweat going too. All right, one more for me. And I am done. Hopefully you guys are doing okay, feeling good, able to keep up. Let's unmute yourselves and we'll wait for the other group to rejoin us any minute here. But any feedback, any questions? I know we have a few new people here with me. How are you guys doing? Sweating?
It was good. I couldn't lift my hips on the side thing, so I just laid on my side.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely, Michelle, different variations. And I'll show you more and more things as I learn what people can do in this group. I can adapt because there's a lot we can do with these bands.
Yeah, I was going to ask that same question because I wasn't sure. You actually had your hips lifted, right? Because I was having trouble doing that. So I just laid the same way Michelle did, just and then did the thing. Okay.
Right.
And eventually, maybe I could do the hip.
Even if you're laying on the ground, that
Yeah.
motion that's pulling you and forcing you to do the row, you're activating your entire midsection. So you're
Okay.
still getting the benefits. You know, you don't have to do it Superman the way I was showing in the beginning, but that's something to build up towards.
Okay.
Greg, would there be a variation of that without having to lay on the ground?
There is, and we could, you know, it's something I'll show you next week. We can do it with the anchor sitting sideways to the anchor.
Okay.
Makes sense. It's going to be.
Yeah, I'd like, because I have a hard time getting down on the ground and back up.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, Scott. So I'll show you the variation of it. Maybe next week we'll touch up on it.
Yeah, I
Maybe-
plan on the ground until next week, so we'll just start on the ground.
What's that, Runar?
I said I plan on staying on the ground until next week, so we could just start on the ground next week.
Perfect. All right. Any other
No,
questions?
that was great.
Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you.
Excellent.
My arms are quite fatigued.
And this is just class one. You know, Renard, I really, and Michelle, those that are new, or everyone for that matter, the more you could do this throughout the week, the better you're going to feel, the better results you're going to get. You know, we only meet once a week, so take advantage of the equipment in your off time.
Is this like what I hear about other exercise? Is that you should skip a day?
It really depends on your goals. It varies. I went 5-6 years of my life never skipping a day, you know, and then now I skip 1 or 2 days. It depends how your body reacts to the workout. If you're really hurting, then it's good to take a day off.